All right, so we've got our new fuel pump, and what we've done is we've gone ahead and put this one in the vise. We've retrieved our fitting. We'll set that one out of the way. Went into our local diesel repair shop, got ourselves a new pump. Yeah, we'll look at them. I know they're the same, but you kind of want to look real quick, make sure they're the same. I'm going to set this one over here where it'll quit dripping diesel fuel everywhere. And then we're going to put this in the vise. And we're going to go ahead and put that fitting in. Okay, so we're going to screw the fitting in. If I remember right, it pointed that way. Don't know if I can get another hole turn on it or not. I think I can. There we go. Now let's see how it lines up. So remember the fuel heater, this goes together like that. This little hose goes on there like that. So you can see we're not too far off. We have to do a little trimming on the hose in one direction. Okay, I think that's going to work. Just like that. So we're going to like that. We're going to go ahead, I don't know if you're seeing that okay, but we're going to go ahead and get all the pieces made up. We'll probably take this one off, this hose off, and put it on in the truck. We'll see. We're going to get you set up and watch. It's a bit of a finagling process because this all has to go in the truck. There's a fuel line that has to go in here that's kind of fixed up top. So we got to start that in first and, you know, yada, yada, yada. So we'll get you set up and we'll be right back. All right, so I think I've got you set up where you can see what we're doing. We're working right down in here, in that hole in the block. You'll see the two fuel lines. So this assembly is going to go in there basically just like that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this back apart. Yeah, let me get this up where we can see it. I'm going to take this back apart. You notice I haven't put any clamps on it. I can do that after it's in the truck. Take this apart. I'm going to put a gasket on here, silicone it. I'm going to silicone a gasket on the block. So let's get that off there. And let's go ahead and get our silicone out. Okay, we got that one on there. Now let's get this one on here. Okay, just a little dab on the other side. our hands off. So then I'm going to take this plug out. I'm going to make sure that fitting spins free, and it does. And we're going to get everything back together here. Get that down in there. And you're probably not seeing much of this, and I can't do a lot about that. Alright, so we're going to put our bolts back in our fuel filter before we forget it. Alright, so now we're going to hook up this fuel line right here. I'm not sure you guys are seeing that very well. Let me get you in there. There we go. We got to hook up this fuel line. And tighten them both down. And then there's a bracket we got to put on up in there, which I'll spare you that on video because it's nothing you're going to see. Tighten up this other one. This bracket and this bolt go way up and back here in the head, and they hold a fuel line in place. So we're going to go ahead and get that wedged up in there. I got to put clamps on that fuel line, and I got to go get a fuel filter and fill it full of fuel, and then we'll go ahead and prime it. So why don't you guys hold on a minute, I'll get that done and I'll be right back. Alright, so we went out to our equipment shed. I don't have any on-road diesel, and you're not supposed to run off-road diesel on the road, but I want to fill this filter and it's what I have. So I don't know if you can see it sloshing around inside there, but we filled this with diesel fuel. I'm going to screw that filter on. We're going to go find us a filter wrench, because I find, unlike an oil filter, I find that these ones don't tighten up with time. So I like to snug them a little bit. On the bottom here, there's a water separator. You can pull that valve up and drain the water out. There's supposed to be some wires on that to plug in up here. That's long since gone. You can actually buy this filter without that hole in the bottom of it. So next time I do that, that's what I'm gonna do. Oh, I guess I should probably go the right way, shouldn't I? Okay, so our filter is tight. I'm going to get a tool and we're going to prime this. So we're going to be right down in here is the primer on that. So you hold on a minute, let me get you rejiggered. Let me get a tool to run that with. So the tool doesn't have to be anything special. Really just something with the blunt end. When the fender's all on it, a broom handle works really well. So what you're going to do is you're going to pump this plunger right here until you hear the overflow valve up here squawking. So we're going to go ahead and stop there. Dig you guys out from under this hood. So that's pretty much it on the fuel system. What we're going to have to do now is we're going to have to go ahead and put our truck back together. We'll get our brakes put back together here in a few minutes. We're not going to go any farther until we get our intercooler because I think it's going to be a lot easier. This comes off with 3 bolts. 1 here, 2 here, same thing over there, and then there's 1 bolt right here in the middle. And I think we can pick that intercooler right straight out and just set the new one in, do all of our plumbing and build back around it. So that's what we're going to do there. So all we're going to do now is get our brakes put back together, clean everything up, and wait for our intercooler. So hopefully that was helpful, you know, figuring out how to delete that fuel heater. That's a real problem area on these. Matter of fact, when I went in to get the lift pump today, my local diesel shop actually said 99% of the time it's the fuel heater, nothing else. I said, I know, but my lift pump is old, I just want to change it. So yeah, that's kind of really helpful. Something to really look for. If you're having hard starts, if the truck sets for 3 or 4 days and it starts hard, that's probably what it is. It's probably sucking air in that fuel heater. So any questions on anything we've done here so far or what we plan to do, leave them down below. We'll do our best to answer them. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.